Some people have been asking for a full tutorial, not sped up to 10 times. So I'm going to do a quick acrylic bird painting, and I pick a piece of paper that I like and then colors that coordinate with that piece of paper. I loved this little floral print. It reminded me of my grandma's wallpaper. So cute. So I'm just going to put a thin layer of white on the base. And you almost want it to be white, but also a little transparent because you want a little bit of that background to show through when it dries. So I'm putting just enough on, and I'm using a flat brush, a smaller flat brush. And I'm almost doing a square, but not a perfect square. I don't ever like it to be really perfect looking. So you get a nice thin coat of a light color. You could use white, you could use yellow, you could use light blue. It doesn't matter, whatever you like. Next, I'm going to draw the birds, and pretty easy. You just make almost like a tombstone, I guess. It's a elongated circle. That's the body of the bird. I'm going to have 3 birds sitting next to each other. And then after the body, you just do a little head. And I honestly freehand everything because I just think it makes cuter art. And then I'm going to fill in the body a little bit, give it maybe a V pattern at the bottom, but that's not necessary because we're going to add the tails in a minute anyway. And then the heads, again, I freehand. And they all may be not centered perfectly, but I'm going to have the bird on the left is looking to the right, the bird in the middle is looking straight ahead, and the bird on the right is looking to the left. So now I'm doing the tails. And birds, sometimes their tails V, sometimes they're straight across, sometimes it's 3 or 4. It doesn't matter. The point is it doesn't need to be perfect, and you don't want it to look like everyone else's. So just go with the flow, relax a little bit. I like bluebirds, so I decided to use blue as my color that does contrast the wallpaper paper because there's no blue in it. Next, I'm drawing my little wire. I'm doing a green wire. So they could be sitting on a big weed or a fence. It doesn't matter. I like green, so I used green. I'm just filling that in so it almost looks like the birds, they're sitting on it, but they're not facing me. I'm behind them. So imagine you're taking a picture of 3 birds and they're sitting on a wire. I didn't put orange on my original palette, so I'm adding the orange to do their little beaks. And like I said, this one is facing right. The one in the middle is looking kind of up. And then the one on the right is facing left. So his beak is going to be pointed the other way. Just a simple triangle. Again, nothing has to be perfect. That's what makes art so much fun, is it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to take this orange then and put a little bit in their tail feathers just to give it a little dimension, a little shape, couple hints of color here and there. Lightly adding in the orange. It's the same orange that was on the beak. Next, I am going to add some flowers to the background. After I maybe shade in a little bit light blue, mix some white and shade in light blue. But I am going to add flowers to the background. I'm still here adding a little bit of white and a little bit of shading. It just gives the birds a little more dimension. Some light shadowing, you can barely tell. So like I said, I'm going to add flowers. I'm going to make my flowers yellow and pink so they're matching the background, but I'm not making the same flowers that are in the background, just using some of the same similar colors. and I'm just scattering flowers about. Again, it's not perfect. I don't map it out ahead of time. I just throw them somewhere on the painting. I like the yellow middle of the flower, and I'm going to use pink petals. It's nice soft pink. Uh, Looks really cute. Matches the background enough. And I just use a flat, a brush and just make the petals that way. You can make them thicker, fuller if you want. But I actually just love that size brush, and I can make one petal with it. Some of the flowers are thicker than the others. Some go all the way around. Some are hanging halfway down. It doesn't matter. Again, you can just do it how you like to do flowers. If you don't know how to do flowers, this is a great way to practice. Next, I'm taking the dark blue and I'm putting their eyes. So the one looking to the right, you only see one eye. The one in the middle has two eyes showing, and the one looking to the left has one eye as well. Then I'm going to take this darker blue and just add a little more dimension. Maybe outline their wings just a little bit. Obviously, it's a bird, right? And I always like to say that my paintings resemble reality, but they're not reality, and that's okay. It's gonna look so cute when it's done. These three little birds sitting on a wire with their pretty flowers on this beautiful background too, that you can then cut to the size you want. So if you have a frame and you want to put it in a frame, you'll be able to cut it to the size of your choice. That's it. All done. Easy peasy. Anyone can do this. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.